Well, good morning, everybody. I do not like that light. This webcam. This new webcam is going to be the death of me. I'm telling you. There we go. If you wait a minute, the doorbell will ring as well. Good grief. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Having lighting problems with daylight savings time. So that's going to be interesting over this week to try to figure out what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, okay. So got webcam lighting problems. Got to figure that out over the next couple of days with daylight savings time. Good morning. Good morning. Yep, I've got lots of fun. Lots of fun. So the card show, Dallas Card Show this weekend. It was a true treasure hunt. Last night I went to bed with the biggest grin on my face. I loved that last weekend, whatever. I love the weekend because all I did was dig through boxes and look at cards, and I had the most absolute fun I've had in a long time. Yes, you and me both, George. You and me both. I'll contribute to the GoFundMe. Had lots of fun dealing with that, dealing with the webcam this morning. This is the haul right here. Pencil. This is the haul. It's going to take me a long time to get through it, to sort through it. Don't care. Don't care. I had a blast. Went to bed last night with a smile on my face. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. So, a couple of stories, and I'm going to put together the bulk of it and put it on my and actually do a podcast on it because I got to manage. I got to sit behind Uncle Rich's booth for a while. He had to leave for some personal problems or for some personal medical with his wife. He had to leave for an hour on Saturday and an hour on Sunday, and he trusted me enough to sit behind the booth, which was an honor. But I got to see the perspective from the other side of sitting and working a booth, which was a blast. It was an absolute blast. But a couple of notes from that. There was a little girl. She probably couldn't have been more than 9. And she was digging through the boxes of Jordan. She was digging through the boxes, and I asked her, "What are you looking for?" And she goes, "Michael Jordan's." I'm telling you, my heart melted because Jordan happens to be one of my favorite basketball players of all time, and I think he's the best basketball player that ever walked the face of the earth. And to see this young lady pulling cards for Jordans or digging through Uncle Rich's boxes for Jordans, it melted my heart. And she found one, and she was so excited that it was $1. And she just was so excited it was $1. I just, my heart almost leapt for joy. It was so much fun. The booth next to me had a deal where if you were a kid on spring break, you got to pull a free card. That was so cool to see. So awesome to see the kids light up whenever they got to get a free card out of a box. I mean, those were the type of stories that, like, this is what the hobby is all about, man. This is what the hobby is all about. It was awesome. One of the young men, he couldn't have been more than, I don't know, 7 or 8, pulled a card, and he walked down a couple of booths with his dad, and one of the guys offered him $10 for the card and wouldn't give it up. Don't know if the card was worth $10, but the guy goes, okay, what about $25? And kid goes, and the guy who actually had the booth that was giving away the cards couldn't understand why the kid wouldn't sell the card for $25. The guy was like, I'd do it. I don't, But what was interesting is he had his girlfriend there to kind of help bring people to the booth. And I told him afterwards, I said, you're giving away free cards. Your girlfriend, who's, she's cute, asked a young man if he wanted a free card and gave him a free card. Dude, at that age, you couldn't pay me $1 million for that particular card. So, and he just started laughing. And she was like, she turned beet red, all flattered. I mean, it was a cool moment. The show was called a mass spreader event by a couple of people on Twitter, and there was probably 95 to 98% of the people there wearing masks. I tried to go live a couple of times. I could only go live down one aisle before there were too many people there, and the internet kind of got too congested. But I tried to go live as much as I could so that those of you who weren't there, could see the experience. Majority of the people wore masks, and a majority of the people were conscious of distance. Didn't go Thursday night, which I kind of wish I had, but I went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, everybody was pretty conscious. Saturday was pretty good, and then Sunday afternoon, people got a little more loose because the traffic died down. But overall, I felt pretty safe. I saw some people there that I hadn't seen in a long time. I met some amazing new people. I saw a friend from college, old bar buddy from college, Mike. It was awesome to get to catch up with you for a while. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. The stories from behind Uncle Rich's table, I'm gonna put on my podcast. I did get a haul of bulk low dollar that had killer value. And one of the things about me is, yes, I'll do YouTube Live, and yes, I'll do Facebook, and yes, I'll do Hobby Hotline, and I'll do all this stuff. But if you put me in a room full of people, I have a hard time initially with being there. And part of it's because I'm a littler guy, and part of it is because I get overwhelmed with being around a lot of people. So for the first 2 hours of the show, I just walked around, and I'm just trying to get used to the environment, what's going on, who's doing what. And when I finally settled in, I'm like, okay, so what do you know? And I went back to the basics. Okay, I know football rookies. So I started digging for football rookies, found some great deals on football rookies. And I'm like, okay, what do you know next? Baseball rookies from 2020, 2019, and 2021, and prospects. Okay, so I went rookie and prospect hunting. Found some amazing deals. I have a whole stack of cards of people on the last day that I just walked around getting cards from. I found bulk submitters to partner with. I found people that do Pokemon. I found a guy that I'm going to reach out to, Mark Hoyle, and have him try to connect him with Mark Hoyle for vintage. There was a guy there, and I'll post the pictures later, that had 1954, I think it was, either 54 or 55 cards uh, from uh, from the movies for Hollywood stars, and one of the coolest one that I saw was a card from Marilyn Monroe, which was just absolutely sexy. I loved it. It was absolutely so cool. There was some vintage there. There was a whole room that was almost dedicated to comics and to pop culture, which was really cool to see as an infusion included. So that was really cool. There was another area completely separate that if you're in your 30s or 40s and you went to the 90s baseball card show, completely looked like that. Was so cool to see, and it was completely set off apart. So there was at the hotel, there was the garage, there's the entryway from the garage, and then the entryway from the garage there was a main room, or there was a smaller room that when you could walk into, and that looked like a 1990s show. It was so cool. It had people with pop culture, like the 1990s pop culture wax boxes, Marvel, Star Wars. I saw a Looney Tunes baseball box. I saw Pokemon. I saw Marvel. I saw everything there. It was so cool to see. And then it had JSA authentication in that room. And then it had a huge long area where you could buy sports memorabilia and sports. Uh, Good morning, Mike. You and I need to talk, Mark, because I got a guy that I want to connect you with about vintage. I tried to go live. I tried to send pics. I tried pictures. I tried to upload the stuff. The main room, you couldn't do squat because there was so much Wi-Fi traffic being sucked out of the room, and then the cameras, the security cameras, had the major traffic. There was some all over the place, so there was a lot of security. There were some thefts reported, of course. When you get a large show like that, there's going to be people that take advantage of the situation, that don't have a lot of integrity, or are just starving and need to feel that they need to do something to fix that. Um, so there was some theft. There were some massive $10,000, $15,000 cash deals that happened. Um, but the one room was huge, uh, for 1990s pop culture, and I walked around that room, and that was so cool to feel like I was in. That was a huge flashback. And then you walked in, you had another smaller room which Rich Klein was in. Speaking of integrity, was PWCC there? Not that I can remember. Dan, there were people that said that they submitted to PWCC. There were people that submitted that submitted to PSA and to hybrid sports or hybrid grading. Dallas Card Investors were there. Heritage Auction was there, um, which was really cool. They had some really freaking, and I didn't want to take a picture because I was afraid they wouldn't, but they had some ultra sweet cards there. One of the things that I wish I had done, which I'll do differently at the next show, was even if I can't go live, I'm going to take massive amounts of pictures to add to the Texas Card Dude Facebook page and to upload to Twitter, because God, it was just incredible. And 600 people, the in order to do that, Kyle had to shorten the rows. So when you get the guys with the huge backpacks on, one guy here, it really shrank the rows so that you could walk. It had a hard time walking through. That's probably the massive negative that I could say, was that the backpacks were everywhere, and very overfull. There was a lot of selling going on. There was a lot of selling of grading going on. There was a lot of buying of grading cards. Grading was huge. And then conversely, off of that, the conversation was, okay, what is everybody going to do about PSA? And I think the consensus was, we're not sure because of Beckett now increasing and SGC now getting into the marketplace. Like, there was a lot of conversation around what to do next. And I don't think a real solid conclusion was given for the majority of the people that I talked to. I will say there's been a trend in Desert Shields cards that I've heard a buzz out for. That buzz is real. There was a lot of people looking for Desert Shield cards. I was not surprised, but I was surprised given that the backlash that everybody's had for the military lately. Desert Shield cards were alive and well, and everybody was hunting for them. I didn't find any, but I'm sure there were some there. There was a lot of bargain hunting there, as in all the shows. There were a whole bunch of people getting autographs. Send to a different company. That's it, George. I mean, that's what the consensus was. Send to a different company. Okay, well, who do you send to? We don't know. It's good to know, but everybody was asking about Desert Shield cards. There was a very, very good statement made by, and I think it was Uncle Rich, about Michael Jordan cards. And I thought SGC is turning around in less than a couple of weeks. Yes, they are, but they raised their prices from $15 to $25. $25 is very, very reasonable for doing a card. So there was a guy there that had a ton of GSA cards, which was really interesting. At least his consensus was they're slabbed, and yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're not very popular. They're slabbed and they're graded, so you have at least some, some idea of what their grade is. There was just a ton of people, autograph hounds, because there was a lot of autograph guests there. I didn't dabble in that. I most of my time was spent wandering, looking for cards, or I have a small stack of pre-ward Cubs that I eventually submit to SGC. Nice to know their turnaround's quicker. Yes. 25 is the same as PSA, but now the 25 is gone. You get 10-month wait at minimum. Yeah. It's crazy out there. Let's see. Bulk ran Uncle Rich's booth for about an hour to an hour and a half on both days, so that was fun. I'll post those stories up. Mark Hoyle, you and I need to talk about a gentleman that's trying to get rid of you and I got to talk about the submitter. What was your what was your favorite purchase? My favorite purchase. I found a Charles Barkley card that I will show tomorrow. That was my absolute favorite purchase. I found some really, really cool deals. I haven't even, Bo, this is the entire stack right here. And I have just been taking everything and putting it in this stack right here. And these are bulk. Let's see, I need to have more. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bulk, just boxes of bulk. In one of these is just singles, absolute singles that I bought for $1 to $2. But one of my favorite cards that I bought was a Charles Barkley card, and then another was a Frank Thomas card, Zach, that I used to have when I was in the 90s, that I found that I went, oh, this is such a cool card. It was it was an acetate card before they were actually called acetates. It was a Topps acetate card that looked like a disc. They'd taken a disc and cut it in fourths, and it had four sections on it. Really, really cool Frank Thomas card that I found. Found some really awesome deals. And I've got some webcam problems that I got to figure out. I did get a couple of racks from Uncle Rich. Pete Alonso, which was really, really cool. And then a power producer, Bowman's Best, Pete Alonso. I saw a ton of raw. I didn't see a ton of raw, but I saw a ton of graded autograph cards, which was really, really cool. And the vintage. Oh, guys, I wish I could have taken pictures and uploaded them. The vintage was so cool because the vintage was in no less. I mean, no, I saw twos and threes and all sorts of stuff. So it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. I had so much fun. I can't wait for the next one. I'm going to do the next one a little differently, because I thought I could go live and just walk around and show a bunch of stuff. If that happens again, I'm going to take just a ton of pictures and upload them when I can. The show was massively successful. I walked by Kyle a couple of times. Said congratulations. He was being pulled in 50 different directions, so I didn't get a chance to really talk to him. Let's see. Deodorant should have been yes, because a lot of people stayed at the hotel. The hotel was completely booked and full, so that was a lot of fun. I did get to see Dr. Beckett, and I asked Dr. Beckett a question that I'm going to post up on the podcast as well. I got to hang out with Brian Gray, which was so cool. I got to hang out with Brian Gray for a little bit. That was a lot of fun, just hanging out and talking with him and watching him go purchase cards. Number one, for his personal collection, and number two, he was doing buybacks for Leaf, which was really cool to see. Again, I saw some old friends. I had so much fun. I had so much fun digging through boxes. There were, it was a heavy breaker contingent there, of course. There was a heavy youth movement, which was awesome to see. And it was really cool to see the 8 to 11 age group really, really representative. If you get any symptoms in the next week, I don't have to worry about that, Dan. I'm still in the immunity phase remember, I got COVID a while back. You get 3 months of immunity from the virus. So I'm not too worried about it, but I still wore a mask the entire time to make myself feel comfortable and make other people feel comfortable. So I'm not really worried. And then, is it Tuesday? Tuesday, I go get my first shot. So I'm not really worried about the virus. I've already had the virus. The variant, it hasn't been reported in Texas yet, so I'm not really. I'm not concerned, but I appreciate it. If I do show symptoms, I'll get tested, but I don't expect that. One of the nicest parts about having COVID in the past is that I'm still covered through mid-April, if I remember right. I'd have to do the math, but I am covered for the rest of the week. A little bit of other news. I am behind on my content creation and watching. Bo, I watched a little bit of you on Sunday this morning. I'll watch more tonight. I've got so much work to do, so much content to produce. One of my Donruss boxes is supposed to be here this afternoon. Opening day comes out Friday, so that's awesome. I'm doing Hobby Hotline this weekend with Chris Harris and Jeremy Lee. I've got some some promos to put out for that. I'm on cloud 9. One of the things that I found out is I fell in love with the hobby. Like, falling in love with the hobby again was just incredible. I don't know what happened. I don't know what, but I was into this. And maybe I was just absolutely exhausted last night, but I went to bed with this great big huge grin on my face because I was just happy. I was just happy. And I guess going to a card show will do that to you. But I really, Bo, are you going to live after? Well, yeah. Okay, we'll ask that. Bo said he was going live in prime time on his Twitter feed. He was having problems this morning. How many hours was I there? Oh, let's see. I was there for 4 hours on Friday, 6.5 hours on Saturday, and 4.5 hours on Sunday. 5 p.m. Central night. Okay. So everybody watch out for 1 Million Cubs, Bo, 5 p.m. tonight after he gets off work. I'm going to take a content break, maybe come back to one video a week. Been spending too much time on it again and getting burnt out. Yes, you can. You can. I didn't, because I spent so much time at the card show, when I got home, I was exhausted. I did some orders. I'm caught up on orders except for yesterday or last night. I've got, as soon as I get off, I got to go eat breakfast, and then I got to fill the orders for yesterday. But I didn't even go to the post office. Everything's still sitting right here to be taken today. But I went to bed feeling fulfilled, happy, excited. So much stuff going on. I got my book autographed by Dr. Beckett. Got to hang out with him for like 3 or 4 minutes. That was really cool. I just had a blast. I had an absolute blast, and I knew I would be behind, but I really just didn't care. Got into the hot tub. We'll probably get into the hot tub tonight after Bo's show, just because I'm extremely sore from walking around. I had a fantastic time. Can't wait for the next one, but I can, if you know what I mean. And then getting ready for the National coming up in July. Going to be getting ready for that. So that's what I got. I really appreciate your support. Oh, no, I'll go ahead and tell the story. There was a gentleman that when I was walking out on Saturday, I had 4 of these boxes in my hand, and I'm walking out to the car, and I heard this gentleman yell, "Texas Card Dude." And I'm like walking around, and I found somebody who actually watched the show. And I apologize. I tried to go back and get the gentleman's name. I completely forgot the guy's name. He watches a Hobby Hotline. He watches a YouTube show. I think it was Aaron. I can't remember 100%. Please, when you watch this, I went back. I went back like 3 or 4 times to try to hook back up. But I had a great conversation with him. Thank you so much for supporting the show and supporting Hobby Hotline. If you have any prayers, please let me know. I'll pray them up. Prayers are actually being answered that are being requested. Support your local LCS. I really appreciate you supporting the show. God bless y'all, and have a fantastic week and a fantastic rest of the day. If you have any questions, gripes, complaints, nags, or pet peeve, you know where you can send the requests to my Twitter feed. Talk to you later. Bye.